And display, as always, poly count. Can't work without my poly count. And then Windows, Workspace, Expert. And then Windows, Workspace. And I want general editors, and really all I need is my attributes editor. And then I'm just going to break this off and kind of move it around, just so I can have some screen real estate. Yes? So the next thing I want to do is have the image of the fire hydrant up. I cannot work without an image of the fire hydrant up. You cannot work without an image of the fire hydrant up. If you are, you're wrong. So what I like to do, I don't trust the planes and all the other stuff for this because it's got perspective to it. I just hold my windows like that, and there. Now I've kind of got this, and I can do whatever I need to do to keep working. So I notice that from here to here in my scale is actually about twice as long as it is from there to there. So I'm just going to grab this edge, pull it down to about twice as long from there to there. That looks about right, yes? Now, as I play with this, I'm pretty happy with where I have this base. I don't want to mess this base up. Actually, I do want to mess this base up, because while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to do two things. First thing is I'm going to pull this up. Second thing is I'm going to pull this up. No, I can't do that. This one's already destroyed. I have to start this one again if I'm going to do this, because I need this outside edge to be smaller than the inside edge. Or I can cheat, because I am a cheater. I can grab this edge, and I can delete it. I've killed my fencing. And grab this. And I can just scale it in a little bit. And then I'm going to go with a soft edge, Q3. Now I have that slight bend in there. That's just a cheat. I wouldn't recommend it because you still don't have a good edge right here. See how mine is wrong still? But if you're just desperate and you need to go fast, that's just a cheat. Yes, everybody understands? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is grab this bottom edge, extrude edge from the center, doop doop. Then I'm going to grab all of these faces right here, and I'm going to do what I like to do so much, extract those faces. Except for something horrible happened when I did that. Why did something happen? Face. Extract faces. There we go. That's what should have happened. Now, I'm going to start working from somewhere. But what won't happen at this point is I won't destroy the top of this model. Does that make sense to you all? So if I count this using my count method, I have tight, flat, less tight, flat, tight, round, flat. Can you guys see what I'm doing here? So tight, less tight, flat, round, flat, tight, round, tight. Rhythm. That's my rhythm right there. So let's make my tight first. So to make tight, the first thing we do is we need 3 close together edge loops, right? So extrude edge. If I just cheated and did 1, 2, G, 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 there we go. G, R. That kind of does it. That's 3 edge loops, right? It's one way to do it. It's not necessarily right or wrong, but I don't super love this because, oops, wrong one. It's not as tight as I would like it. So let's go ahead and grab this, and 1, and W. There we go. And that'll give me a much tighter little thing. So now if we look at that angle, we can see we've got a nice crisp angle like there. Not quite crisp enough. So let's go through and grab this W, so I can just pull that down. Scale this back, W. Object mode, 3. That is very crisp now, yes? So now, if I just grab this edge, come back over to my one view, extrude. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my flat. There's my flat. I'm exaggerating it a little bit for demonstration purposes. But in 3D modeling, 3D is not real. So it's not a real thing. So what we got to do is we've got to avoid perfectly flat objects because we need those shadows. Those shadows create that shape. So rather than leaving this perfectly flat like that, I'm just going to bring it down just a smidgen. I mean, not enough so that it visually looks angled, but just enough so that there's room for a shadow. That won't look angled, but now I can just do a quick G, because now I need this next one that's not quite as crisp as the inside one. And there we go. So now I have that, so object 3. And now you can see I have crisp, not quite as crisp, yes? And then I need another flat. It's about there. And then I'm going to need a crisp. G, G, R. And let's test that.
You've been recording this?
Yes, I have actually. So I'm not thrilled. I think this is a little too tight, possibly, up here, if I look at the edge. But it is pretty tight in there, but I don't think it's quite that tight. So what I'm going to do to fix that is I can just grab this edge right here. I'm just going to pull it in a little bit like a bevel. And now when I come back and look at it, now it's not quite as tight. Now it's got a little bit more round to it. Can you guys see that little round that it's got versus how tight that is? So I'm trying to get that rhythm, and I'm trying to break that even spacing that we all want to do so badly. Because it looks pretty when everything is spaced nicely, and we want to be organized because we're organized people. So the next part's a little tricky. So I need this little round piece. But I don't have anything that's round right there, right? I just don't. I can cheat and just grab a torus. That won't really work quite like that. What I'm going to have to do is object delete torus W. I'm going to come into my polytorus attributes, almost like I had the attributes window open and waiting for me. Radius, go to 2. Now I've got this neat little curve that I can kind of trace when I do my next thing. Does that make sense to you all? So I mean, I could combine it and do all that, but that's not what this is for. This is just so that when I do this next part, I can get that nice edge. So I'm just going to grab, I got to go back up to this object, grab this edge, and I'm going to kind of follow. See why I need so much screen real estate? See if I can't find a better spot. I should have probably matched that up with the sides. I wonder if I still can. So I think I'm at around 12 sides on this one. So let's try 12. Axis 12? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's just something like that. Might need to be a little bit bigger, but that's fine. Object mode, edge, object mode, this object, not that object. Stop being on that object. Stop being bad. Edge. Oh my God. Object mode. No object selected. I want this object, not that object. Edge. Okay. Now I can just kind of ensure that I'm not on my bevel, and I'm not. Probably going to need to turn this to X-ray for this. And I do. So G, excuse me, extrude edge. R, G, R, G, R, G, R, probably one more, G, R, something like that. So I just use the other shape to trace, that's all, rather than what we've been doing, which is to add, we've been adding this shape in, but that would just be hard. And I just wasn't feeling hard. But now I've got a nice angle right here that follows the angle of that torus pretty close. Looks like I've got one little mistake in it, right? Here, turn X-ray off. No, I guess not. I don't know. I'm just going to do it because I prefer it to visually look right. If I lost my flat, nope, that looks good. Come over to a side view really quickly. Come up to 1. And let's make sure that this, so if I look on the side, it looks like this is about even. So edge, I guess this is it. So I'm going to need to come down and get this to be like lined up with that. Looks like I accentuated something a little bit too much, and I'm going to have to fix it. The easiest way to fix this is going to be to use the vertices. So I'm going to go to a good view for this, grab all of these, and I'm going to need to deselect these guys up in here. So Control, 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 Control. Ah! All right, so now all I should have to do is just scale these back in a little bit, and I can scale the whole piece like that. Now, when I come back over to here, much closer, good. Yeah, remember what I said about adding a 0 to the amount of hours this stuff takes? I was being serious. All right, so let's look at this again for just a second. So this and this are almost even. So by that I mean 1 pointer, 2 pointers, 3 pointers, 1 pointer, 2 pointers, 3 pointers. Might be a little longer on the bottom. So then this, from here to here, needs to be about the equivalent of that. So that's 1, 2-ish. That's 1, 2-ish. Can you guys understand where I'm getting that scale from? Then I'm going to need to do this softer bend on the bottom. Ooh, no, I don't want to create a new album. So let's look at this bottom thing here. So let's go extrude edge. There we go. And remember, we just said we don't ever go straight like that. So I'm just going to put just the smallest little bit of an edge to it so that it's not perfectly flat. I mean, it's barely noticeable, but it will cast a shadow. Now, the next thing we've got to do is count. 1, 2, 3. Well, I can't see how many of the little things are on there. How many bolts did we say were on it the other day? 8. 8. Oh, you think there's 8 little divots in there? I don't know. I don't have a good count. I think there's 8. But we have 12 sides. So we can either redo the base again, or we can just cheat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we're not going to cheat, we're going to need edge loops. Object mode, insert an edge loop. Going to need one here, and I'm going to need one here. Q1, object mode, face. Assign division to faces, 4. So that's what that does. So let's grab all of these faces, assign division to faces. Where'd it go? Add division to faces. There we go. All right. Well, that just created a whole lot of n-gons really, really quickly. Let's see what this looks like. 3, 1, 1. So now I could, what would it be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be 24. That's not right either. How are we going to get 8? We would have to make the base some division of 8. Is 12 a division of 8? Well, we could, what is it called? Go lowest common denominator thing? So what's the lowest common denominator for 12? 4, I think. We got 3 4s in there, right? So 4, 4, 4. Is that how that math works? And how many? What's the lowest common denominator for 8? 2, actually, I think. But we're going to only go to 4. So we've got a number in common. 4 and 4, yes? So we got 3 4s in 12, and we got 2 4s in 8. I don't know how exactly to make those fit. Is anybody good at math and can make that math work?
Well, if we have a...
I need to divide each one of these sections up so that it has enough for me to be able to put basically like 1.5 on this edge kind of thing, which I'm just not sure how that's going to work. So 3. So I have 12 edges here, I have 12 edges here. So
Wait, what if you selected the face in the middle and then you beveled it with a -1? Like,
that would do what you're doing, but it would still have the wrong number of faces. You would have 12 faces then. Or you would have 12 dents. So we can do every third. What happens if we do every third? Why did I pick every third?
because 3 times 4 equals 12, and what you need is 8. So 8 comes from dividing 4 times multiplying 4.
I think, let's see, 1, I don't know how to do it, it's round! Pain in my butt. 1, 2, so we're on this side of that edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I did math. Booyah! Who said that common denominator stuff would never come in handy?
Most people in every other career.
So now I have 8. Now I can extrude face. Keep faces together off. Put it into the center. Ooh, no, we're going to have to keep faces together on. And there we go. Object 3. Kinda, sorta working. Kinda, sorta. 1. So now we need to fix this ugly topology. Object mode. Think.
Do you think it's just that one edge loop in the middle?
Oh, we're going to have to fix a lot of things. I wish it was just one edge loop in the middle. Multi-cut. 1. 2 will give me a pull on a bend, which I hate. So remember before when I said make sure that you can explain why you're doing the topology? So this topology now is a 4 and a 3. Can you see how that's not 4 and 4? So now I just need to do that same thing like a bunch more times. 1. I'm going the wrong way. How am I going the wrong way? I'm going the wrong way because it goes 1, 2, 3. G. 1, 2, 3. G. I am making this as complicated as you possibly can. You could have just used 6 and most people would have been like, looks great. I don't know what anybody's talking about. What do you mean it's wrong? Ugh, my fingers, why don't my fingers work today? I missed, goodness gracious. Oh my God, this is going to take forever. If I hit that space bar one more time, I'm going to scream. Do I need to do that on this one? No. Did I do it probably too many times on somewhere? This one doesn't need to be there. This one doesn't need to be there. This one doesn't need to be there. Those all need to be there. There we go. And now object mode and 3. No n-gons. Everything's working good. Yes. Need to do the same thing on the bottom. Goodness. I'm not gonna. I'm running out of time. What time does this class end? All right. So the next problem we have when we look at this is these aren't as round as these are. See how round that is? It's kind of round, but it's not that round. And see how it doesn't have that thing in the center? It's more square. By fencing that in loosely, we square that up a little bit so we could have it less square or more square. So watch what it does to that outside edge. How outside edgy do I want that? Something like that-ish. Now, we do have this other part that is this right here. It's just wrong. So we need to pull it in. Oh my God, we're working on an edge. They can't do that. We need to get this scale tool to not be at that funny angle. Does that make sense to you all? Because if I pull it in, it twists it sideways, and it doesn't really do what I want. So all we need to do is come under Display, Hide Windows, General Editors, Channel Box, Content Browser, Viewport. Where's my tool thing? Tool settings? That one. Set to the object. Let's, instead of setting it to the object, come on, give me component, which didn't quite do what I wanted it to do. Let's try normal. There we go. That gives me what I want. And then I can just pull it in, and I can pull it in, and object, and 3, and that gives me shading, wireframe unshaded. So you can see the difference between this and this, yes? Which one does this look like? It does not have that hard edge to it. Can you see how that shadow is different on those two things? This is correct. This is wrong. Subtle, but significant. 8, not 6. Now, previously, a lot of people had done 6. You're welcome to do 6. I know how to do 8. You know how to do 8. Questions, comments? Rhythm. Tight, loose, loose, tight, whatever it takes. Math. Think before you click. Think before you click. Don't be afraid to hit delete. Start over. The thing took me an hour to make that time. The next time I make it, 10.